Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we have a mid-bald fade with the number 3 on the top. And anytime a client asks for a short length like that on the top, I always use my detachable clipper just so that the cut is even, consistent, and just, less harmful on the clipper when you're debulking like this. This blade that I'm using is a 3 3/4, and it is kind of equivalent to a plastic number 3, maybe just a little bit shorter. But for this type of cut where I'm taking everything down one length, I want the most efficient blade that I can use that's gonna just feed through the hair as easy and effortlessly as possible. Once we finish that, I'm coming through with my trimmers. I'm making that first initial guideline about midway up. So we're gonna go ahead, just go all the way around the head with that. And I'm keeping the line around the head as straight and even as possible so that when I start my fade work, is gonna remain consistent throughout the whole haircut. So guys, if you have noticed a difference in the sound quality in this video, I just want to let you guys know that I finally figured out the configuration for this Yeti microphone. I've had it for a few months, but I could never figure out what it was in terms of the sound quality. My videos, they sounded very echoey and very staticky, and it was something that I was doing wrong on the microphone. My laptop apparently wasn't supporting it. I found a video on YouTube, of course, and we got that working. But definitely give this video a like if you do notice the sound quality difference. Let's keep this page growing, and let's keep putting out as much quality work as possible. We're just getting that ball section as light as possible, and then we're gonna come right into the fade with the ergos with the blade open. Now on these ergos, I have the fusion blade. I was noticing with the original fade blade that they came with, that the blade was so fine and so sharp that it would snag the pores, and they did it worse than any other clipper that I've used. Like, I would literally come and make my first guideline, and the whole tooth would get stuck in the client's head, and I did cut a few people like that. This fusion blade is a very close cut, but at the same time it's more comfortable for the client and also for myself, having that peace of mind knowing that it's not gonna harm the client or cause any discomfort in any way. But as you can see here, I'm working the lever. I started with the clipper open. I'm notching down until it's fully closed and that bottom line from the trimmer is faded out. And once you're feeling comfortable that the blend is good enough, you're gonna move on to your next step, which is the number 1 with the blade fully extended. So this is a 1 open. I'm gonna make that guideline, and then I'm gonna close up the 1, and I'm just gonna come right up to underneath it. And then I'm gonna come with the half guard, halfway closed, and I'm gonna come right underneath that 1 closed, and then I'm gonna start closing it up and fading that bottom line out. So guys, we have ABS Chicago coming up this weekend. This is my first time actually going to that show and even going to Chicago, so I'm definitely super excited. But for the most part, the whole barbershop will be there. I'm definitely looking forward to that. It's a great networking event, but it's also at the same time a great team building exercise, if you want to say that. The shows are definitely a great time to learn, to network, to just better yourself, and to get that exposure and knowledge that you are looking for. So definitely, if you're going to Chicago, leave a like on this video, comment, subscribe, reach out to me. I would love to meet as many people as I possibly can, and just socialize, man. This COVID thing has caused a lot, so it's good to see everything starting to get back to normal. So we're coming with a 1.5. I started with it open and I worked my way down, and as you can see, the panel is starting to blend out. And then I believe after that I'm going to come with the number 1 and start detailing. So the 1 is fully open, and I'm just going over any dark spots that I see. This is the most important part of any haircut. After you go through your system, you always want to come back and double check your work. It's like anything. If you're building a house, you know, you're gonna lay the foundation down and it's gonna get checked to make sure that there's no inconsistencies and no spots for error. So the same thing goes with haircutting. You go through your system and then you come back in and you double check your work and you make sure that everything is as consistent and as smooth as it can be. So I'm gonna work that all the way around the head, and I'm not gonna move on until I feel that area is completely blended out. So we're coming back with the one, we're detailing it, and in the back of the head, the hair is more dense there. So you're gonna wanna kind of come up a little bit higher with each step that you take. So I'm gonna come up with that one close just a little bit higher than I would on the sides, just to get the best possible blend that I can out of this haircut. And now that last line that you see on the side, the number 2 open to close, we'll take that out because remember we did a number 3 on the top. So I'm spraying the hairline with some got to be glued hairspray, and I'm using my Dyson to dry the area off before going in for the lineup. And when I come through with the lineup, as you can see his hairline, it kind of creates an M right there in the front. So with my FX3 trimmers, I'm punching that line right in the middle of his forehead, and I'm going to the higher side first. And when I get to the end, I put in my vertical bar as well. So I'm making sure that this is a nice 90-degree angle and that the lines are completely sharp. And then I'll work my way from the middle over to the other side. So the lower side, you want to match it to the higher side. You can't take that higher side up. So you just want to make both sides as symmetrical as possible. And like some clients, you have to push them back. A lot of people, they try to keep it as natural as possible, and that's fine in some cases, but most clients want that nice sharp look, and a professional pushback is going to be acceptable. Not everything that is a pushback is a bad pushback. So all I did was apply some shave gel, and I'm coming in with my 245 triple cartridge razor with the exposed blade option, and I'm coming through and I'm just lining up the vertical bar, and then I'm going with the grain, just lining up the front hairline. And as you can see, the lines come together way more nicer once you get that razor put on there. So I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side. And then once I finish with the grain, I'm gonna lean his head back and I'm gonna stand directly behind him, and I'm gonna go against the grain just to get the most sharpest line possible. For anybody that is a beginner barber that is just starting out using the razor, just be sure to keep a consistent angle on the blade so that you don't cut your client, and start off shaving with the grain first to smooth that area out, and then against the grain so that you're not irritating the skin as much. There's gonna be less to shave when you go with the grain first. So I'm just putting his head down, checking the mirror. As you can see, the lineup is looking straight. I'm gonna apply some hot lather to the back of his neck. And as you can see, I swipe down first with my thumb. And I'm doing that to just check for, you know, any growths or any bumps that he has that could cause, you know, bleeding if I cut it or anything like that, because the last thing you want to do to your client is make them feel uncomfortable. I didn't see anything else, so I just proceeded with the shave. And like I said, guys, if you're at the show in Chicago this weekend, stop me, introduce yourself. I would love to meet as many people as I can. And thanks for checking out the video.